What's up? What's up, banda? Muy buenos días. Bienvenidos a una sesión más de Café y Artes Marciales. Salud, salud, salud. Cheers. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of Coffee and Martial Arts. Salud. Cheers. Yes, sir. Hold on. Oh, I got to say it twice. Nice. Okay, guys. So we are back. Bienvenidos todos. Muchas gracias. El día de hoy voy a estar transmitiendo en español y en inglés porque tenemos un tremendo invitado desde Florida, USA. Sí, señor. So today I'm going to be transmitting and talking to you guys in English and Espanol. Sorry, I'm sharing right now in social media, so bear with me. Because we have an amazing guest, which now is more of a collaborator of the show, I might say. So it's always an honor and a privilege to have Master Sean Kelley here today with us. But before we go to him, let me just say the proper announcement. So, bienvenidos a todos. Muchas gracias por estar por acá. Siempre es un placer tenerlos acá en el programa. Tenemos un tremendo invitado el día de hoy. Disculpen si me agacho un poco, estoy transmitiendo y compartiendo acá en redes sociales. Tenemos con nosotros desde, como les decía, desde Estados Unidos, desde Florida, desde Miami, Florida, Boca Ratón para ser exactos, al tremendísimo maestrazo, Master of the Arts, Master de Kenpo, el señor Sean Kelley está con nosotros. Pero antes de traerlo acá con nosotros, voy a hacer los anuncios correspondientes. Permítanme un segundito. Les recuerdo que estamos transmitiendo en vivo. We are going live through our Facebook page, a través de nuestra página de Facebook, Master Frank Soto. Okay. So please like and subscribe. Por favor, síganos. Denle like and follow us in Facebook. Okay. También vamos en vivo. We're also going live through the Internacional with a C Hall of Fame page of Argentina, página Internacional Hall of Fame de Argentina, del tremendísimo Master Juan Martín Álvarez. Saludos a él y a toda la banda de Argentina haciendo su labor de Argentina para el mundo. Okay, salute to everybody there. Sorry. Give me a second. Almost done here. Almost done. Okay. I think we are done. We are almost. Un segundito, ya casi terminamos acá de compartir. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Okay, so we're also going live through our YouTube channel, Frank Soto Kenpo Connecticut channel. Okay, también vamos en vivo a través de nuestro canal de YouTube. Por favor, suscríbase al canal, síganos ahí en YouTube. Dele clic a la campanita para que reciba notificación cada vez que vamos en vivo. Okay, así que mande sus preguntas. Estamos acá, como les digo, para ustedes. Please ask your questions, send your questions. We're going to be here with the man for an hour, okay? Bien, antes de ir con la persona, les recuerdo que ya tenemos lista la Frank Soto Kenpo app. Señores, ya está ahí en Google Play, disponible para ustedes, la Frank Soto Kenpo app. Ahí la puede pedir en Google Play. Sí, señor. Y también ya va a estar, si no es que ya está, en Apple, también en la tienda de Apple, iOS, ahí la tiene, en Apple Store, perdón. Ahí está también. Así que tenemos excelente material de Kenpo de Kinética para ustedes, tremendo, mucho material, y estamos subiendo material cada semana. Okay, so today we have Mr. Kelley. He's in with us. So let's welcome, demos la bienvenida to the man of the hour, al hombre del día de hoy, tremendísimo, excelente artista marcial, buen amigo. Todavía no he podido coincidir personalmente con él, pero hemos platicado tanto ya a través de este medio que lo considero mi hermano mayor en el arte y tremenda influencia positiva para todos los kenpoístas. So let's welcome the man. Like I just said, I haven't met actually in person Mr. Kelley, but I do consider him my big bro in the art, okay, and a good role model for people to follow. He's a beacon for a lot of Kenpoists out there, and he's doing a great job. So let's welcome him here again to Coffee and Martial Arts. Hello, sir.
Salud.
Saludos, salud. Okay, we already have people saying hello. Let me bring some of the comments. Buenos días, maestros, desde Oregon, from Oregon. Saludos, Julio Torres. Salud, gracias. Sifu Ernesto Colbrenner, saludos, maestros. Internacional Hall of Fame, Santa Fe, Argentina. Abrazo de corazón. Gracias, saludos. Rubén Peralta, hola, maestro. Saludos desde Chile. Saludos. Mr. Jeffrey Koloski, greetings and salutation, master. Salud, maestro. Salud, my friend. Maestro John Ward, hello. Hola.
John Ward, my buddy.
¿Qué tal? Great to see you back here. Excelente.
John Ward's a good man, good man.
Robert Dilly, salud. Maestro Luis Núñez Ramírez, saludos desde Chile, de la escuela Tao de Chen Wu Taiho Jutsu. Salud, sir. Okay, my friends. So today we are happy to have you back. You know, like I said, I consider you now one of our collaborators of the show.
I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you so much. I'm honored all the time to share some time together. And you're right. We're definitely in the moment of soon getting together and tag teaming something. I don't know, in the same room.
That would be awesome, my friend. But anyhow, like I was saying, we have talked, you know, in so many different times now. I do feel like we've known for many years. So thank you for being here on the show again, sir.
I appreciate you.
Well, you have a project coming up.
It's called the Gathering of the Masters. It was started by one of, actually it was Coach Jocelyn and Master Reiner Schulte who put this idea together about getting masters together. And that's how it's like, oh, you mean, let's call it that, Gathering of the Masters. And it was around 2017 or 2018 when it kind of kicked off. And it was actually Professor Mike Friedman who opened up the doors, and we started it up in the Orlando, Florida area. And it's kind of like a small gathering when people can get together based on their time schedule. But the continuation of just, again, another gathering to share and break bread and share knowledge and meet people and spread the arts. If you notice, I didn't say the arts, A-R-T-S. And that means whatever system style or profession you're in, or if you're able to get on the platform. This is really what we launched, was the opportunity for people who are instructors to step out of their comfort zone and give them the ability to communicate what they know, what they've learned, what they've researched, what they've invested in, and share it with the given audience. Who cares if there's 5 people or 50 people or 500 people? It's all based on more experience. And this, Mr. Frank, having the opportunity to share what we know is always, what an honor. I mean, it's always an honor to be able to explore those options. And to me, I set the platform up. In this case, it's a different twist. It's Kenpo with an M and Kenpo with an N. And the lineages fall under the Ed Parker lineage and Grandmaster Fred Villari's lineage, because he just recently passed away. And so I just think it gives us the ability to honor both of them here in the year now 2023, especially after the COVID thing that shut everybody down and kind of put everybody in a closet.
Ok, entonces comenta el maestro que van a tener el evento que vemos aquí en pantalla. La reunión de los Masters va a ser el día 13 y 14 de octubre del 2023, donde va a estar el maestro Sean Kelley y el maestro Merle Gehrman.
Merle Gehrman.
Merle Gehrman. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, now I got it. Y van a tener este evento, que de hecho este evento nace por idea de la coach Jocelyn González y el Master Reiner Schulte, quienes tuvieron esta idea platicando con el maestro Sean Kelley y desarrollaron este evento para darle oportunidad a diferentes maestros de diferentes líneas, de diferentes artes, no necesariamente nada más de Kenpo, de tener estos espacios donde compartir lo que saben, compartir sus experiencias de vida, compartir su arte, compartir todo este conocimiento y esta sabiduría que tienen los maestros a grupos, no importando si son grupos de 5 personas o de 50 personas, pero poderlo compartir en estos grupos, en estas plataformas, porque es muy importante esta labor. Y en este caso van a compartir acerca del Kenpo con M y el Kenpo con N. ¿ok? Porque tienen el linaje representado por el maestro Sean Kelley, el linaje del maestro Ed Parker, del finado Senior Grandmaster Ed Parker, y el linaje también del finado también Grandmaster Fred Villari, que acaba de fallecer hace poco. También fue una personalidad, sigue siendo una personalidad en las artes marciales, en el Kenpo, ¿no? Entonces va a estar bien interesante. Si pueden, no se lo pierdan. Okay, sir.
And what's quite unique about Fred Villari is he's internationally known as well in his system. So if we were to trace when he came up in the 60s and 70s, he trained with Nick Serio and a guy by the name of George Bazzari from the East Coast, the New England area. And Mr. Villari was well known back in the 70s and 80s, more so in the early 90s, with a lot of franchise schools out there. And, you know, it's one of those situations where if you look at some of the movements that they do, there's a lot of similarities of what we do. For example, our star block or blocking set, they call it 8-point blocks, just a different name, but the movements are very much the same. So I just thought it'd be interesting to continue mixing in the lineages and look at what's familiar and look at what is not familiar, but the camaraderie was the outcome that I wanted. And if we could set examples as leaders of influence, myself and him, I think it'll open up the schools that are still under each of these organizations, let it be one of the Parker lineages down the road or any of the Fred Villari lineages that are still existing. And it'll pull people back in to a larger community. And that, again, that's who I am. I mean, if there's one thing I'm known for, it's networking. I enjoy the opportunity to network and bring it all together under one roof.
Ok, excelente. Pues comenta el maestro que lo único acerca, la unicidad, digamos, acerca del Grandmaster Fred Villari es que él era muy conocido, de hecho, internacionalmente dentro de su organización, de su movimiento, y él empezó a entrenar en la década de los 60s y los 70s con el finado Grandmaster Nick Serio y con George Bazzari, ¿ok? Esto fue en los 60s y 70s, y él también, de la década de los 70s a la década de los 90s, tuvo mucha exposición, fue bastante popular con sus escuelas, y hay similitudes, de hecho, entre su versión de Kenpo y el linaje del Kenpo americano de Ed Parker. Por ejemplo, en el Kenpo de Ed Parker tenemos el bloqueo estrella. Ellos hacen un set, digamos, similar o igual, pero le llaman el set de 8 puntos, ¿ok? Y también acá el maestro Kelley dice que le interesa poder, por ejemplo, mezclar estos linajes en estos escenarios, ¿ok? Para poder también explorar lo que es familiar entre estas artes, entre estas líneas de Kenpo y lo que no, ¿ok? Y buscar esa camaradería también, esa convivencia y ese compartir de las visiones del arte. Y si ellos pueden dar este ejemplo a la comunidad como líderes de influencia que son en el arte, pues qué maravilloso, porque eso puede ser que la misma gente del linaje de Ed Parker y del linaje de Fred Villari regresen, entrenen los que no están o que sean atraídos a una comunidad mayor. Porque dice que si algo que a él lo identifica o por lo que la gente lo conoce es por el trabajo de red, el network que se llama, lo hace bastante, lo promueve muy bien desde hace mucho tiempo, con muchos eventos muy exitosos. Okay, so we have people saying hello, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Josh Russo, Sifu Josh Russo watching. Salud, Sifu.
Good man, good man.
Alex Lizárraga, saludos, legendario Master, saludos, gracias. Norman Whipple, salud.
Whoop, whoop.
Ok, Ángel Roca Salgado, hola maestros, salud a ambos grandes maestros de las artes marciales, bendiciones, blessings, salud, gracias, saludos maestro. William Herrera, salud Master Soto and Master Sean Kelley from Guatemala, excellent interview, gracias, saludos.
Thank you.
Quentin Kubala, big respect to Sean Kelley.
That's my big brother right there.
Nice. Wilmer Guerrero, greetings from Montreal, Canada. Saludos. Quentin says, don't forget the shoes.
Well, what's funny, Quentin, is to interrupt you quickly. Back in the 70s and 80s, in the back of the magazines, Mr. Villari used to have a shoe that was made just for studios called the Conflux. I don't know if you remember those or not, Frank.
No.
But it was like a slip-over. And it's funny, everybody used to make fun of the shoes. And ironically, now everybody wants to realize the importance of wearing shoes in a mat because of just the wear and the tear on the feet and the ankles. And a podiatrist will tell you having covering on your feet is essential in training. So it's funny how traditions of, oh, we don't wear shoes on the mat because of this, because of that. And then later on, people realize the importance. Frank Trejo, myself, wrestlers wear shoes, boxers wear shoes. It's funny, and Fred Villari was marketing something because he was just good at marketing. And the guy was a genius at marketing.
Ok, comenta el maestro, porque le preguntan acerca de que no olvide los zapatos. Dice que de hecho, por allá en la época de los 70s, 80s, el maestro Villari promocionaba unos zapatos que se llamaban what was the name? The Conflux?
Yeah, it was Conflux, Conflux.
Los Conflux, que eran unos zapatos, unas como zapatillas o zapatos que metías el pie para entrenar, y lo criticaban bastante porque en aquel entonces todo el mundo entrenaba descalzo, y como hoy en día mucha gente ya se cubre los pies para entrenar porque es más sano, más seguro, más higiénico, podríamos decir, para muchos. Entonces, en aquel entonces lo criticaban mucho y hoy mucha gente los usa, ese tipo de sandalias o otros luchadores y demás. Y dice que el señor Villari era un genio para el marketing.
Yeah, do you remember Mitch Babro, who created remember the Atomics?
No.
OTOM, Atomics wear?
Yeah.
Taekwondo, everybody wears shoes, everybody wears the high ankle, looks like wrestling, and they were made for martial artists. So nothing for nothing. You got to give credit to Mr. Villari for being one of the first to talk about the importance of wearing shoes for protection. And the way they were designed was they had a particular grip on the bottom when you were on a particular flooring, including carpet. It was kind of neat. I never wore a pair, but now I get it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dice que el señor Villari hay que darle crédito por lo que hizo, que eran unos buenos zapatos, tenían como suela para que se agarrara, etcétera. Nunca los usó, pero ahora entiende, ¿no?, la necesidad de estos zapatos. Así que buenísimo. Okay, we have another people saying hello here. Jose Galdamés Lavín dice, good afternoon. Great salute from Santiago de Chile.
I'll be going there to see Mr. Roboto in November. So finally, after so many years, I get to return back to my second home, going back to Santiago.
Dice el maestro que en noviembre va a estar por allá en Santiago de Chile visitando al máster, a su representante allá, al máster Roberto Vidal. Saludos al maestro y a toda la gente de Chile. No se lo pierdan, en noviembre va a estar por allá otra vez, va a poder regresar después de todos estos años, dice, a su segunda casa, a su segundo hogar, a Chile. Así que vayan para allá, de verdad, siempre una garantía de buenos eventos, el señor Kelley. Ok, so, what can you say about the difference in I don't think a lot of people know the difference in Kenpo with an M and Kenpo with an N.
Well, it's funny you say that because a lot of people know it's dialect. And it's like, saying the word light, was it a light bulb or is it the weight of it? So it was a thing that happened with Matosi and Professor Chow back in the day. I think it just kind of lost its translation just by default. And some would say, was it M, with an M, Mary, or a Ken as in, saying no to somebody. But that's why when people say they study Kenpo, to me, it's like a generic name. And I'll say, well, what style of Kenpo is it? It's like a car, Chevrolet. There's a big difference between a Corvette and a Cadillac and other GM products. So, they'd have to almost describe, hence why Ed Parker called it Ed Parker's American Kenpo, or Nick Serio's Kenpo, Fred Villari's Shaolin Kenpo, Ralph Castro's Kenpo. So now there's more description because of the person that is sharing or created their own system and or style. It's like Lima Llama. If you look at Lima Llama, look at the relationships that Grandmaster Tino did and how you can see a lot of this very same motion and movement, hence why him and Ed Parker were so close together. I mean, you only have 2 hands and 2 feet. It's what you do with it is really up to the practitioner. I think we're all extended brothers and sisters of all arts for what it's worth. And I think the more we can appreciate each other's strong points versus weak or negative sides, we can change the world that is now broken because of just the division, the politics, the cultural differences. I'd rather learn about the culture. Like you talked, and I were just talking before we came on air about studying psychology. Well, Ed Parker studied that as well as sociology because he wanted to know people's differences, maybe their cultural differences. You know, by heritage or by my gene pool, you know, Sean Patrick Kelley is an Irish lineage. Well, when I went to Ireland, I learned a lot of things of the culture that I would have never learned if people like Barney Coleman and Morris Mann didn't give me that invitation to go there. And I noticed they also trained a little bit with Fred Villari's organization. So, you know, a punch is a punch and a kick's a kick, just a matter of how you turn and twist it. You know, I think all of it elements yourself to a better toolbox of knowledge. And then there's now the mental state of learning about different people and their behavior. And with all the world in which it's now standing in regards to, I don't know, instead of coming together, we're almost being sometimes pushed apart. I think the martial arts, we're a different culture anyways. We breed champions. We breed leadership. A lot of the people in the martial arts are, I don't want to call them misfits, but they don't have no sense of belonging somewhere maybe. They feel like they're the kids sitting on the bench and never get a turn to play a game in football or baseball. And you become your own identity. The harder you work, the more you achieve. So if you're singled out in a classroom in a martial arts school, you know, it's up to you to practice. It's up to you to study. It's up to you to perform. And I think good instructors would pull out the very best of us and have done that. And as a child who grew up, I mean, my situation was I didn't have a good upbringing. It was very unsafe, not very stable. 2 parents that were alcoholics, a lot of violence. My first episode of personal bullying was when I was 5 years old. So I think martial arts is, it's the place to go. It's the place to take people. It's also a place to bring people back together when they're apart. And I think we are a different type of culture that many other people can learn a lot of value from, because we do bring great value in humanity, both in giving as well as receiving. And so I think adding value to people as an instructor's point of view, as a coach, which is my passion, is to bring out the best of people who never had that chance. So that kind of sums up a direction as to gathering of the masters, this program over here on this side, Zen of Kenpo. There's so many layers in the martial arts with everybody that's out there at different levels and experiences. I think it's really super important to offer good coaching skills to those that are even experts, 5th degree and above. We all need a mentor. You know, I work for John Maxwell's organization, and you and I talked about this. And one of the things he said, and he's 76, he said, I don't care if you're 22, 36, 44, 59, he said 68. He goes, and I'm just turning 76. We're all under construction.
Ok, excelente. Muy bien, pues mucho que decir. Bien, hablando un poquito de toda esta situación, hablamos de que le pregunté la diferencia entre Kenpo y Kenpo, así empezamos esto. Entonces dice, esto son cuestiones del dialecto, ¿ok? Viene desde los inicios de cuando trajeron el Kenpo a Hawái, mitose, chao, donde digamos que se perdió ahí la traducción y le pusieron unos con M, otros con N, ¿ok? Pero más que eso, el Kenpo es un nombre genérico y entonces tenemos qué estilos tienes, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, podríamos decir la compañía General Motors tiene sus estilos o sus modelos, que puede ser un Corvette o un Cadillac, que son dentro de la misma empresa, diferentes modelos. Igual es el Kenpo, ¿ok? Entonces tenemos el Ed Parker's Kenpo, American Kenpo, tenemos por ejemplo, el Fred Villari Shaolin Kenpo, el Nick Sirius Kenpo, tenemos el Ralph Castro Kenpo, Lima Lama también del finado Gran Master Chino Toilo Sega, como por ejemplo Lima Lama tiene sus similitudes, muchas similitudes con el Kenpo de Parker, de hecho ellos grandes amigos, hermanos casi, ¿no? Porque nada más tenemos 2 manos y 2 piernas y lo que hacemos pues difiere, pero todo se conecta, dice, todos somos hermanos y hermanas en las artes marciales, ¿ok? Pero también estudiamos acerca de las diferencias culturales y de ahí viene, por ejemplo, el maestro Parker estábamos platicando que tenía estudios en psicología y en sociología, por ejemplo, para entender estas diferencias y poderlas, aprovechar, ¿sí? Y también habla de que él, por ejemplo, tiene una herencia, un linaje y una parte genética irlandesa, y él aprendió más cuando fue a Irlanda, que lo invitaron el señor Barney Coleman y el señor Maurice Mann, y aprendió más de la cultura y todo eso. De hecho, ellos también fueron un tiempo parte de la asociación de Fred Villari, ¿ok? Pero dice, un puñetazo es un puñetazo, una patada es una patada, ¿ok? Eso no cambia, ¿sí? La idea es reunirnos, ¿ok? Y crear, trabajar con un buen coaching y un buen liderazgo, ¿ok? Ese sentido de pertenencia que nos dan las artes marciales, ¿ok? Todo esto de lo que hemos estado hablando, sí, trabajar con las inseguridades de los niños. De hecho, él hablaba de que él tuvo una niñez insegura, con padres con problemas de alcoholismo, y él fue bulleado, fue víctima del bullying desde los 5 años de edad. Entonces, todo esto lo fue llevando y lo fue convirtiendo en la persona que es hoy, ¿no? Entonces, regresándonos un poquito a esto, de aquí él crea también, buscando ser buen coach, tener buen liderazgo, crea eventos como la Reunión de los Masters, como el Zen del Kenpo, todos estos eventos donde se reúne toda esta gente, y es bien importante tener acceso a los mentores. Tienes que tener un buen mentor, ¿sí? Un buen mentorado es bien importante, y esto ya lo hemos hablado en otros programas con otras personas que creo que están de acuerdo también. Entonces, él trabaja, dice, su pasión es el coaching, y él trabaja con el señor John Maxwell, una tremenda personalidad en ese mundo, y habla de que todos necesitamos un coach, no importa en el caso del Kenpo que seamos 5º grado o más, y en el caso John Maxwell dice, no importa si tienes 36, 50, dice, yo tengo 70 y tantos años y seguimos bajo construcción, en constante cambio y formación, ¿ok? Okay, we have more people saying, I think that sums it up. Wow.
Yeah, I think what's important is 2 things as a master instructor that you and I both are. We're there. We got that. And I'm still learning. But what I wanted to be is a better coach. Some of the predecessors before me, great fighters, known in their craft, but the communication skills as educators was the challenge I saw. So when I started working for John Maxwell's organization in 2019, I surrounded myself with professional coaches that would inspire. His motto is adding value to people of people who bring value to other people. Every one of us has a story, and some of them are quite bizarre, and it'll shake you in your shoes when you say, wow, how did you get through that? But as a mentor and a teacher, my job is not only to teach you the physical skills of the art of martial arts or the philosophical point, but is to teach you about anger control, community service. Mike Miller was such an advocate toward working with children. He worked for the state of Pennsylvania, and when we formed together as co-founders, Stomp the Bullying, we both collaborated about personal experiences and how we found a lot of the students that were signing up with their parents were dealing with their own bullying problem. I can't tell you how many stories I get worldwide. And that's why I'm on the campaign to create martial arts safe places. I'm looking for martial arts instructors who are willing to get certified and how to be a better coach. You know, my two favorite books of John Maxwell, and I shared this, and you and I spoke about this. Number one, intentional living. Live intentionally every day, not only being grateful and thankful, but the blessings that we have, the things we do have. The other one of his books is everyone communicates, few can connect. What does that mean? That means everybody can talk, but a lot of people have problems to connect with their audience. Whereas you'll have people that are good with just teaching adults. Some only teach and work around with the children. Some may not do good with advanced students. Some only do good with the beginning students. And then you get an instructor's mode where they've never stepped outside their own four walls, and they got instructor's mode, which is why I formed the platform of giving black belts the chance to learn how to teach other black belts who are qualified either at their own level or even greater. If you want to be a better instructor, learn how to instruct. It's not a natural thing. It's not in the belt curriculum. It's something you learn from coaching, from coach skills. Bob White was very good at it. Ed Parker was very good at it. People like Greg Silva, these are well-known people in the martial arts industry, good at it. Bill Wallace is an expert at it. I got to say, Joe Lewis and Ed Parker, Bill Wallace, Ed Parker, Bill Wallace and Joe, all three of them were the first to influence me on the importance of being a better instructor. You know, and communication skills, how to connect to, when I go over out of the country and I don't know the language, there's one language we all know, a punch and a kick and a block.
Ok.
Yeah.
Comenta el maestro que es muy importante, digamos, ser mejor instructores, ¿ok? Y dar valor, ¿sí? El coaching, por ejemplo, se trata mucho de generar valor y dar valor, ¿ok? Entonces, él trabaja con John Maxwell, como ya habíamos dicho, y él, digamos que ya logró el nivel de Master Instructor, ¿sí? Ya hemos llegado ahí, ¿ok? Pero siempre hay que buscar ser mejor coach, ¿sí? Y es lo que a él lo apasiona, ¿sí? Entonces, hay mucha gente que son buenos peleadores, que son buenos artistas marciales, pero que necesitan más habilidades de comunicación, ¿sí? Cómo transmitir, cómo transferir ese conocimiento, ¿ok? Dar valor a las personas, ¿ok? Entonces, como artistas marciales, no nada más tienes que ser maestro, también tienes que ser mentor, ¿ok? No solo les enseñas, él no solo enseña acerca de artes marciales, también enseña control de la ira, por ejemplo, y servir a la comunidad, ¿ok? Dice que hace algún tiempo, por ejemplo, con el buen Michael Miller, saludos, debido a este trabajo que tienen también con los niños y demás, crearon el programa de Stomp the Bullying, o sea, dale un pisotón al bullying, termínalo, que es un programa que ha logrado mucho, que han promovido y han ayudado a muchas personas. También tiene esta misión de convertir los espacios de artes marciales en lugares seguros, ¿ok? Esa es una tremenda labor, valiosísima, muy buena. Y habla de que sus dos libros favoritos de John Maxwell es El vivir con intención y Todos comunicamos, pero pocos podemos conectar. Entonces, vivir con intención, muy importante, tener esa intención, esa decisión de hacer las cosas. Y todos podemos comunicar, pero el conectar con las personas, el conectar con tus alumnos, el conectar con los niños, el conectar con los adultos, esa labor no es fácil. Para poder ser mejor instructor, tienes que aprender a ser instructor, no nada más avanzar y aprenderte todas las técnicas, todos los grados. Tenemos grandes instructores, por ejemplo, el finado maestro Bob White, paz descanse, el mismísimo Senior Grandmaster Ed Parker, otras tremendas nombres como el señor Greg Silva, tremendos nombres muy conocidos en el medio marcial, Bill Superfoot Wallace, Joe Lewis, que paz descanse también, y Ed Parker. Ellos fueron las primeras personas que lo influenciaron a él para ser un mejor coach y tener mejor habilidades de comunicación. We have a lot of people saying hello, sir, if you don't mind. Let's see. Pablo Rodríguez, saludos from Costa Rica.
Awesome.
Saludos.
Awesome.
Sean Gordon, salute to both of you. Thank you, sir. Salute. Michael Miller dice, good to see you guys. I hope both of you are doing well. Mr. Kelley has had a major impact in my growth in Kenpo, and I will forever be grateful for that. Salute. Salute, brother. Okay. Sensei Axel Cárdenas. Hola, Maestro Kelley from Chile. Desde Chile dice, could you explain some technique of the program that be Chinese and why it is Chinese, and another one that it's not and why it is not Chinese? Thank you. Did you get the question, sir?
I don't understand what he's asking.
He said, if you could explain a technique from the Kenpo program, from the American Kenpo program, that is from Chinese background or origin, and why is that? And another one that is not, and why it's not Chinese.
If you see any of the circular motion that we do in the art, it's greatly influenced if you look at the parallel of Hung Gar Kung Fu. Anytime you throw a linear movement, it's from the hard systems of the Shotokan or the Okinawan, any of the Ru Islands. So Kenpo technically is a mixed system of all of those arts. Let it be the Polynesian side, the Chinese, the Japanese jiu-jitsu, and basically enough, it's the physics, the science that Ed Parker brought in through his studies and research. So quite honestly, if you look at Ed Parker's American Kenpo, and really, Ed Parker died in 1990, so it's even grown since and past that. So at the end of the day, we all have a signature of our own Kenpo, which means wherever it came from. So, Mr. Frank, here's my hand. If I go from the thumb, Kenpo, right? Let's go with the initials. Keep every new principle open. That's what Kenpo is. Whatever works, works. And whatever doesn't, put it aside. Don't discard it. Just put it aside in case somebody else can use it. So how do I differentiate the Chinese from any other structural systems? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why? Because guess what? We cannot trace all movement or motion because of how far it was way, way before any one of us has been born. But if you're intelligent enough and you watch the Chinese do their forms, the Japanese Okinawans do their forms, and the Koreans do their forms, you can see a lot of parallel movement right out of the universal pattern that we have right in Ed Parker's American Kenpo system. Matter of fact, can you see the difference between what Mr. Tatum did and what Mr. Parker did? Instantly, there's a difference. You can see a difference from the West Coast Kenpo to the East Coast Kenpo, to the Canadian Kenpo, to as far down as Florida and across the nation. And why is that? Everyone has their own penmanship, which it's a signature of the individual. We don't want repeating robots. We want everybody to have their own tailored uniform, and at the end of the day, make it work.
Ok, contesta el maestro que todo movimiento circular en el arte tiene un paralelo al Hungar, por ejemplo, de los chinos, de las artes del Kung Fu. Y todo movimiento lineal tiene un origen en las artes de Okinawa y en las islas Ryu, ¿okay? En los estilos duros, ¿sí? El Kenpo en realidad el Kenpo tiene influencia china, polinesia, etcétera, y también tiene la parte de la ciencia, la parte científica, ¿ok? Entonces, de hecho, si vemos el Kenpo de Ed Parker, aún después de la muerte de Parker en 1990 para acá, ha seguido creciendo. Y cada uno de nosotros desarrollamos nuestra propia firma de movimiento, dice el maestro, ¿ok? Entonces, por ejemplo, dice, si ves la palabra Kenpo, habla K-E-N-P-O, Kenpo, dice keep, mantiene, every, cada, new, nuevo, P, principio, principle, O, open, abierto. Mantén cada nuevo principio abierto, ¿ok? Por su acrónimo en inglés.
Keep an open mind, keep an open mind.
Mantén la mente abierta, dice, ¿ok? Entonces, no, en realidad dice que no importa cuál es el movimiento chino, dice, no importa, porque en realidad no podemos rastrearlo por la antigüedad de estos movimientos, o sea, no tenemos esa información, ¿cierto? Pero dice, si eres lo suficientemente inteligente y lo comparas con los sistemas chinos, con los sistemas japoneses, con los sistemas okinawenses, vas a encontrar las similitudes y las conexiones que están en Kenpo, ¿ok? Entonces dice, por ejemplo, cada kenpoísta tiene su unicidad y su propia expresión. El mismo Master Parker decía, y el mismo maestro Tatum, se mueven diferentes, puedes ver las diferencias. El Kenpo de la costa oeste de Estados Unidos y el Kenpo de la costa este, o el Kenpo de Canadá, o el Kenpo de Florida, hay sus diferentes expresiones. ¿Por qué? Porque el Kenpo promueve esa unicidad al momento de expresarlo en el individuo. El individuo genera su propia firma y lo confecciona como prenda hecha a la medida. ¿Ok? Good. Gracias por la pregunta, Sensei. Michael, okay, we already have this one. Vangelis Drosos, hello, Master Sean Kelley. Salud, Master Frank from Greece. Lorenzo Jiménez, saludos desde España, from Spain. Salud, my friend, saludos. Julio Torres, Master Frank, me gustaría que pudiera venir a Kenville, Oregon, para un tutorial de escuela Open Hand Kenpo con nuestro maestro. O sea, claro que sí, sería un honor, estoy a sus órdenes. Por favor, mándenme un mensaje, nos ponemos de acuerdo. Gracias, saludos. Manuel Ponce Mendoza, saludos desde Morelia, Michoacán, México. Maestros, gracias, saludos. Ed Medina, nice working with Jock Maxwell.
Yeah.
Agree. Sean Gordon, Mr. Sean Kelley is a great mentor. He has helped me a lot in life. Nice. Maestro Roberto Vidal, salud, my brothers. Hi from Chile. We'll see you in November. Saludos, nos vemos en noviembre. TCB, igual para usted, Master Frank Soto. Gracias, Master. Saludos y mucho éxito en su evento en noviembre. Claro que sí, no se lo pierdan. José Galdamés Lavin, excelentes maestros, excelente entrevista. Muchas gracias. Gracias, saludos. Bien. Iván Castillo dice, maestros, muy buena tarde. Good afternoon. A big salute from Bucaramanga, Colombia. Agradecido por este programa donde aprendemos los estudiantes de Kenpo cosas que desconocíamos. Gracias, salud. He's thankful for that get to learn new stuff. Okay. Sensei Axel Cárdenas says, Master Kelley, I have seen that you use the red belt as a high rank, superior to black. I think is very interesting. Could you explain more, please? Thank you. Gracias, Sensei.
Yeah, I mean, when Ed Parker passed away, I mean, quite honestly, the art in its best place went when he passed. Same thing when Mr. Trejo talked about how he took the colors out of the crest and had the gray. To carry on our lineage from the CKF, Ed Parker said everything had an opposite and a reverse, and that we would show you an example of that. Well, I did that with our belts from 5th degree and up. So if you notice from 5th degree and up, I reversed the colors from black to red to black. And it was to pay homage and respect to the people that are in not only the CKF worldwide, but directly our lineage. And that lineage consists of people like myself, Mr. Schulte, Mike Pick, who's technically our senior teaching black belt instructor, and also those that created our patch to go along with it. Otherwise, we're all duplicating the same patch. We're all duplicating maybe the same of things that we thought or the way I interpret. As a black belt of any level, if you really want to get good and better, I think all these questions brought on a forum is outstanding. I just have to give you my personal opinion. Like any profession, we are an art of war and protection. We're also a place to find peace and the quality of life for those who are willing to learn about health and wellness and longevity of life. You can't develop that relationship of energy through Zoom. I build relationships. I don't do Zoom relationship. I don't do long distance. I'm going to give you a belt if I never built a side-by-side relationship. It's a disservice. It's like going in the medical field. Hey, look, I got a certificate. I'm now qualified to be a doctor. I got my qualifications on Zoom. Let's see who will allow other people to operate on a human being because they got that certification. Now, I get technology. I think it has a great place. But Mr. Frank, I'm more excited when I'm going to have this opportunity, when this time comes, being in the room next to you, because that's the energy I want to feel. You can't feel that energy, sir, by cyberspace. You can't. It's not humane. So in the year 2021, after 50 years, I revisited my faith. And one of my very dear best friends, who's worked with me side by side for over 30 years in the Guardian Angels, he was stepping up himself into faith, his religion, his practice of faith. And he came and with his turn on a Sunday to talk about his story and giving himself back to Jesus. I went up there, and so did Mr. Norman Whipple. We're basically, I call those guys my bookends. And we went there to support what he was doing. And I have not been in a church of any level. I was raised a Catholic since I was a kid, over 50 years. But I walked into that room, into that place of worship, and found something I was missing. And I went home, and being around John Maxwell and the people that he is about, I've never been around so many positive people in my entire life than that culture. And so I revisited on, I believe it was January the 21st of 2021, 22. And upon arrival at Christ Fellowship, I get out of my car. I mean, you're talking about a very large 1,000 people capacity at certain times of worship. And I'm walking up to the front door, and this man steps out, and he says, "Hello, Mr. Kelley." He says, "How are you, sir?" I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "You're Master Kelley. I know you are. I know you. You don't you recognize me?" I said, "No, I'm sorry. I forgive me if I don't." He said, "Well, maybe you might remember my master instructor, Master Fred Villari." I'm like, "Most definitely. I know Master Villari very well. He's a good friend of mine." He says, "I was one of his black belts, and I used to go to your events," he said, 15, 20 years ago. And it didn't dawn on me because, we didn't have our uniforms on, I guess, that it was him. And he says, "I want to welcome you home." True story. So he opens the door, and I walk in, and I start getting introduced to the people on the team at Christ Fellowship, and very kind and welcoming, asking me, why am I here? And I told them. And they said, "Well, you picked the perfect time to be here. This is the first Sunday of the new year. And, we have a guest speaker who's going to be showing on satellite all our locations here, which is throughout South Florida." And I said, "Excellent." And he goes, "Yeah, you might have heard of him." He said, "His name is John Maxwell." I said, "You know something? Two things. That's part of the reason why I'm here, because John Maxwell is who I work for. He's my boss, and he influenced me, along with Quentin Kabbalah, to step back into my faith and see what I've been missing." And then upon my arrival was that gentleman who's my guest coming to Gathering of the Masters, Grandmaster Merle. And we reconnected on a different level. That's my new crusade, is to find my balance in life. And that gentleman right there, you can see one of the most inviting smiles, peaceful warrior, and very, very talented. And he said, "This is a great opportunity where I can get people in Fred Villari's organization." And he said, "Mr. Kelley, I know you're a person of influence, and you're always trying to get other people to come together under one roof. So can you imagine, Mr. Frank, if you and I and other people like Matt Snell, John Ward, the Michael Millers, Sean Gordon, Mr. Tatum's group, Frank Vigoro, Roberto Vidal, Jason Arnold, Canada, Tim Hartman." I can name so many people, the Sabor Chan group, anybody that's willing. Let's take William Kaikaka, okay, from the West Coast. Las Vegas, you got people out there in Kenpo world out there. And they all start opening up their doors and say, "Hey, come one, come all. Let's build the commerce." I guarantee you'll be a little hesitant walking in. But in this room, we have all these gatherings of masters and students and professors and new students, men, women, and children. Step into a culture that is like no other world of language. It is a phenomenal culture. We are a different breed. And I think we are what's missing right now in the world around us. We are the culture of peace. We are the ones that can solve the problem of peace. Yes, we know plenty of skill to harm another individual, but I don't know about you, but as I master my craft, I know how to get in a fight now, and I know how to get out of one. Excellent. And I'd rather learn how to step out of one than get in one, because I have a saying, if my hands come up, that's when they say, when your hands are up, lower your temper. So if these come up, it's no longer about you being my opponent. That's competition days. Now it's the fact that you're my enemy, and I'd rather be your friend.
Ok. Bueno, contestando la pregunta, el sensei Axel dice que, poniendo un poquito en contexto, dice, cuando falleció el maestro Ed Parker, su comentario dice que el arte en su mejor versión también se fue. Esto mismo lo decía el finado Frank Trejo con su parche en blanco y negro, que el arte perdió el color con la muerte del maestro, de su maestro, se entiende, ¿no? Entonces, dice que a partir de esto, cada quien ha buscado su propia manera y él busca honrar a su gente, ¿sí? Acordémonos que el Kenpo tiene este concepto de que todo tiene su opuesto y su reverso. Entonces, buscando honrar a su gente, del 5º grado en adelante, él hizo el reverso de la cinta, ¿no? Donde los grados rojos se hacen negros y la cinta negra se hace roja, o sea, la invierte. Y eso lo hace para honrar a toda esta gente, pues, influyente, importante, a la que él respeta, que está en su organización. El maestro, por ejemplo, Rainer Schulte, el gran Master Mike Peck, entre muchos otros, gente que está en diferentes partes del mundo, y esto lo hacen con esa razón, ¿no? Entonces, ya después empezó a hablar de que el Kenpo, como cinturón negro, nosotros tenemos el arte de guerra y protección, pero también es un lugar, las artes marciales y los espacios de artes marciales es un lugar para encontrar paz, encontrar longevidad, encontrar salud, ¿no? Y eso no se puede lograr a través de Zoom. Entonces, esta misma enfoque que tiene de honrar a su gente, también lo tiene de compartir con su gente, de entregarse a su gente, de generar relaciones, de generar amistad, de estar presentes, de sentir la energía de las personas. Por eso hace todos estos eventos como el Gathering of the Masters y estas propuestas que tiene como la cinta y demás, porque lo que busca es conocer a las personas y compartir esa energía que solamente se comparte en persona, que no se puede compartir por estos medios, que entiende la tecnología y le parece muy bien, pero le gusta esa conexión humana que ya hemos estado hablando. Y comenta que a principios del año 2021 él reconectó con su fe, digamos, y fue a la Hermandad Cristiana, que es una iglesia que llega a juntar hasta más de 1,000 personas ahí en oración. Y entrando se encontró, lo recibió una persona de nombre, le dijo, bienvenido Master Sean Kelley. Él no sabía quién era y después se presentó esta persona, le dijo, nos conocemos de hace mucho tiempo a través de mi maestro Fred Larry, y esa persona era nada más ni nada menos que este señor que va a estar ahora presente en el Gathering of the Masters, y esas relaciones que se comparten y ese networking, sí, que hace, que ha aprendido de sus mentores, como el señor John Maxwell, como los ya mencionados artistas marciales, el mismo Ed Parker, es parte de lo que se busca y es parte de lo que quiere promover. Okay?
Yeah, if you don't mind me interrupting, if you notice the logo that you put on the very top of the screen here, where it says Black Belt Leadership.
Right.
See that? I think we, as master instructors, I'm going to call myself now a first-time grandfather, because that's where I am. And I am very proud to be a father. And you know something? Today I was able to work with my children, and the kids stomp the bully group. And most of the kids I have come from different cultures, from Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, all over the world. And a lot of them are dealing with poverty. They don't have certain things. They don't have certain luxuries. But do you know what luxury I gave them was a place to go and be mentored and be loved. Love. What a word. To the point I think we're now teaching that again, where it's not there. You know, when I mention names, tell me if you know these names because you either met them or heard. Do you know who Doreen Cogliandro is?
Yes, of course.
Do you know who Norman Sandler is?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Gilbert Velez is?
Of course.
You know who Michael Robert Pick is?
Yes, sir.
You know who Dave Hepler is?
Of course.
You know who Ed Downey is?
Yes, sir.
Christian Springer,
Yes.
Diane Tanaka,
Yes, of course.
Zach,
Definitely.
Zach Whitson,
Oh, yeah.
okay? Gil
Yes.
Hibben,
Yes.
Barbara Hale, Rich Hale, John Sepulveda, Mr. Speakman, Grandmaster Larry Tatum, Manny Reyes, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, I know them all. Yeah.
Dennis Tostin, Dennis Knacker, Joe Palazzo, Tom Kelly. Let's look at in the last 5 years, just historical situations. Bob White, Frank Trejo, Tom Kelly, and Barney Coleman.
Yep.
You see your face, you already know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're all gone. Yeah.
What is it going to take? What generation is more mature and have mastered their own behavior and mastered their own emotions to let go of whatever they're harboring? And if it wasn't for the Steve LeBownies and so many others that we no longer have to go and meet and be around, even when Ed Parker did his last instructors camp on the East Coast, people were like, oh, we'll catch him next time. I don't know about you. When I saw Ed Parker, it was always he always embraced everybody with a hug.
Well, I never met him.
And a joke. And he would call you. To this day, for over 40 years, I still to this day write personal notes, send them in the mail, because I wake up being intentional. If you notice, Frank Vigouroux, who's a student under Mr. Tatum's organization, does a little bit different of his Kenpo, different even of Frank Soto.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? You're all from the same tree.
Sure.
That's and then the branches after you when they grow, or after me when they grow. Right now is most important because there are a good group of people that are leaders of influence. Recently speaking, a Master Sean Gordon came from a different lineage of Kenpo. He's a 10th degree under his roots and calls me and says, Mr. Kelley, I want to be a better instructor. He works for a prison. This is a guy who's facing crime and violence every day and lives it and still says, I want to be a better martial human. And you know Mike Pick, when you talk to somebody like Mike Pick and what he's dealt with, one of the smartest, most intelligent men I have ever encountered. So my point is, you cannot get enough mentors. Being around John Maxwell, being around people like Paul Martinelli, being around Mark Cole, being around this young lady named Valerie Burton, who I've just completed a coaching certification with. I want to be a better coach. Bob White, his wife, Barbara, Dave Brock. I mean, all these names come automatically out of my mouth. Most of them can be seen in the book, The Journey.
Right.
The generations coming after you, I bet you they only heard about them or never even met them one time. So what's it going to take? Who's going to come to the forefront? If they claim to be a master instructor, then get out of the house and start mastering.
Right. Right.
Profess. You want to be a master? Be a professor first. Profess what you're going to do for your instructor. Whoever your teacher is, how do you play homage and respect to that teacher? Either alive or no longer here with us. Talk about them as if they're still here. I still talk about Ed Parker as if I'm going to see him tomorrow. I talk about you because I really enjoyed following you on the Connecticut. I think that was a great principle, a great finding. I was told more about it with my relationship with Ed Parker Jr. Another way of reading into energy about taking your art, and you could do one of two things: quit or grow. Quit or grow. So since 2017 and 18, both of you and I on the cover of looking at us now, we're healthier now than 10, 15, almost 20 years ago.
That's right.
Because
Okay.
I got a coach, and I got a female coach that said, Sean, do you trust me? That was what Jocelyn said to me, Coach Jocelyn. I said, I trust you. And I wanted a female's perspective. And so health and wellness is what Gathering of the Masters, Zen of Kenpo, or whatever you want to call your theme or platform. I challenge our audience to please gather up as many people as you can and open up your doors for not only your Kenpo brothers and sisters of all lineages, but pull in the Taekwondo, pull in the judo practitioners, bring in a boxer, do all of that and watch us grow as individuals. As martial humans, we will be doing the right thing. Live more intentional.
Ok. Bueno, comenta el maestro que es bien importante la mentoría, es bien importante el amor hacia los niños, por ejemplo, el trabajo, el crecimiento, el tener tu coach, el tener tus maestros. Habla acerca de su coach, habla acerca también del enfoque de salud y bienestar que tiene él en sus eventos. Toda esa parte es muy importante. We're going to go and bring all the salutes. I'm going to go really fast because we already ran out of time. Okay. And we have so many comments here, it's unbelievable. Iván Castillo, maestro, muy buena tarde, gran saludo, agradecido. Ok, excelente, saludos. Carlos Villarroel, buena tarde, Big Master, saludos al Master invitado Sean Kelley from Brazil. Gracias, obrigado. Julio Millán, saludos, Master, mi admiración y respeto para este foro de difusión marcial tan importante. Bendiciones, blessings, gracias, saludos. Sean Gordon, a great friend to have in life. Excelente. David Esteban Correa, saludos, Master Sean Kelley from Chile. I hope to meet you in November. Excelente. José Pedro Cuná, saludos desde Brasil. Master Franklin, Master Sean Kelley, saludos, gracias. Sergio Tapia Cuevas, saludos desde Temuco, Chile. Maestros, gracias. Alfred Magnan, greetings from Miami. Thank you, Sifu. Rick Foster, saludos a los dos grandes maestros. Gracias, usted es el grande. Saludos, mi estimado Ricky, un abrazo. Mario La Ferrara, saludos, maestro, from Belgium. Saludos. Scott James Sadwells, hello from Sadwells Kenpo. Hello, sir. Rick Foster pregunta en su programa. Mi estimado, ya no tenemos tiempo para las preguntas. Una disculpa, lo vemos en la siguiente, por favor. Un abrazo. Scott James Southwell, two great masters. Thank you, sir. You're the great. You're the best. Hernán Alfiro, saludos, maestros. Frank Oz, Master Sean Kelley, gran entrevista, great interview. Kember Guevara, saludos desde Perú. Oz, gracias, saludos. Y no se pierdan, el próximo tienen evento, la gente de Perú próximamente. El 7 y 8 de octubre, vayan al evento, va a estar por allá Lorenzo Jiménez y Ceballos, el maestro Ceballos, van a estar por allá, tremendo evento en Perú. En la próxima semana vamos a poner también ya la información del evento. Gracias, saludos. Norman Whipple, TCB for Life, that was a profound moment, excelente. Marcia Atalaya dos Santos, salutations, salud. American Kenpo Brazil, Sergio Tapia, perdón, no tenemos tiempo para las preguntas, se las debemos. Okay, Frank Bigoriu, many blessings, Frank. What an amazing, well-spoken, educated, and true master of Kenpo. My respects and blessings to Mr. Kelley. Saludos, mi hermano, un abrazo. Anthony Angulo, good morning. Hans Hesselman, greetings. Saludos. Tremendísimo Luis Gutiérrez, big hug to both of you. Saludos, mi estimado. Legacy Kenpo, there you go. Okay, Guillermo Hernández, abrazo y saludo a ambos. Gracias. Oh, man, we have so many more. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sean Gordon, legacy, of course, being open-minded and always willing to learn. Damn, sorry I missed it. It's all there, my friend. You can watch it again. Ricardo Contreras, saludos from Lima, Peru. Saludos. John Ward says, if only everyone thought like this, how good would our family be? Just add up to it, sir. Yes, thank you. Mayor Vorman, salute from the UK. Oh,
what a man.
Salud, sir. Hector Valenzuela, saludos from Molina, Chile. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, sir. If you
no, I'm with you. I'm trying to, sometimes when two people get together, they make a good pair of a team. And, obviously we should continue on this path sooner than later.
Yes, sir.
And let's talk about martial arts and coaching maybe in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The people listening right now can tune in and tell their friends and see if we can bring people out of the closet and put their uniforms back on and get back to training.
Ok, excelente. Próximamente tendremos otra vez de colaborador acá el Master Sean Kelley hablando sobre las artes marciales y el coaching. No se lo pierdan. También tenemos un saludo más. Mary Hallett. Hello from New York. Hello there.
Oh, hi, Mary. Wow, that's been a long time.
Thank you, sir, very much for being here today. Muchas gracias a toda la gente que nos vio el día de hoy. Thank you, everybody. Anything else you want to add, sir, before we go?
Let's gather.
Okay, a reunirnos. No se les olvide, don't forget, Gathering of the Masters. Okay, October 13 and 14, 2023. Okay, don't forget, be there or be square. Don't miss it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So get in touch. How can they sign up, sir?
They can just contact me through Facebook. We'll communicate.
Okay, you can contact him through Facebook and you get all the information and all the things you need to sign up. Okay, thank you again, sir. Muchas gracias a toda la gente que nos vio el día de hoy. We take care and see you on Wednesday. We're going to have more Café y Artes Marciales este miércoles. Tim Buell is going to be in the house. Saludos, José Lara. Saludos y respeto para ambos. Grandes exponentes. Gracias, mi hermano. Un abrazo. Kenber Guevara. Thanks, Masters. Thank you. Gracias. Saludos. Bueno, cuídense mucho. Gracias. Y nos vemos el miércoles con más Café y Artes Marciales con el Master Tim Buell. Va a estar con nosotros acá. No se lo pierdan. Y continuamos aquí con ustedes. Gracias y hasta luego.